John Wayne Gacy, same thing. Like the evil.
But why they don't ever do the positive stories? Meaning, like, because all of this, I'm not saying it's not true, because it's definitely true, but propaganda works both ways.
Mm-hmm.
If there was a network that showed us, these great men who did right by women and, protected women and held women down, your perspective wouldn't lean so much to, men ain't, I gotta go with the bear.
No, trust me. I place in my algorithm men that I know there's a guy named Will Hitchens online. There is this podcast. It's these 4 young Black boys. I can't remember what the podcast is called right now, but I mean.
Oh, you're talking about
it starts with a J.
Jamming or something like that?
Yes.
Yeah. They're from Chicago, I think.
I love them. Mm-hmm. I love them because it's just, they take men and brosphere and red pillars to task, and their rhetoric is so respectful towards women, and they just have so much common sense for being so young. So I follow them. I follow Deontay Kyle. I definitely have an algorithm full of men that are allies to women. But I will also find myself in the comment section of certain things, and it's just it's very polarizing, and it pulls you. And especially, I've had my own experiences of being around a certain type of a certain group of men who exhibit groupthink, and that groupthink tends to lean very misogynistically. So it has an effect on you, as somebody who's just kind of like absorbing it, simply just because I'm a woman and I'm the woman in the room kind of thing. It's just.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. This is one of the reasons and some of the things that people have been speculating about when it comes to why Melyssa Ford decided to either leave Joe Budden's podcast, amicably split with Joe Budden's podcast, or get fired from Joe Budden's podcast. Joe Budden's podcast, though, continues on. Here she is having a conversation with Charlamagne, which I've watched a lot of this because what I try to do is I try to get the context of the full conversation so that I can give the context behind why she's saying what she's saying. And the context behind this is basically red pillars, misogynistic, enemies of women, choose the bear. If I met a stranger or the bear in the wood, I'd choose the bear. At least I didn't know the bear was trying to rape me. You know what I'm saying? So this is the narrative. And then Joe Budden obviously responded and said, there it is. And he just kept it cool. But here's the fact of the matter, right? We're acting like Melyssa Ford, first of all, does not have a reputation for being in the streets. That there's not only rumors, but claims from different people and rappers and her association, aside from her history. And we all got a history, right? We all have a past. Some of us don't have a past similar to Melyssa Ford's, but people have a past, and she's acting like that past wasn't lived out publicly in our videos and her being associated with certain entertainers and rappers, and that she's not still single and giving bad takes on a regular basis, not only when she was on the Joe Budden podcast, but also on her own on different platforms where she didn't necessarily have any emotion. And so now, I think is the biggest thing about this whole situation is that it seems like a betrayal, right? Because let's be honest, nobody was checking for and nobody was looking at Melyssa Ford and having a conversation about whether or not she needs to be a voice that we listen to in these streets, in these pod streets, in these YouTube streets, all of that. And I'm not really sure how good her platform is doing. I can look it up really quickly just for the sake of conversation. But Joe Budden probably gave her the best look of her life when it came to the visibility, regardless of whether or not she left, regardless of whether or not she agreed or disagreed with their take, and whether she could take it or not. 55,000 subscribers on YouTube, and so that's a good thing. Congratulations, 55,000 subscribers on YouTube. But Joe Budden, who's, if I'm not mistaken, is probably past 1.2 to 1.5 million subscribers on YouTube, gave her a good look, right? Like, seriously, he gave her visibility. He gave her an opportunity, and then more importantly, 1.5 million subscribers on YouTube. He gave her motion. And so because he gave her motion and because he gave her visibility, now she's over here kind of throwing him under the bus and throwing the fellas that's on the pod, her fellow podsters, under the bus when she could have just faded into oblivion as a relative unknown. And the only reason that we having a conversation about it right now is because she was with Joe Budden. And so that's the biggest thing that I take from this is that why is there so much treason? Why is there so much, negativity associated with it to where, you felt compelled to say something negative about a person that made sure that you got more visibility and put you on and paid you? I don't understand that.
I listen, are there fuck boys out here? Yes, but I still believe in the circle of trust of humans. And I believe that the shooting percentage when it comes to the circle of trust of humans is still very, very high in spite of all the bullshit. And what do I mean by that? We wake up every day, every single one of us, and we trust that we not gonna go crazy. I don't know none of these people in this room, but one of these motherfuckers could go crazy and fuck up the whole day for everybody. You could go to freaking Dunkin' Donuts and order a coffee, and it's that one person in the back who might decide, I'm arson in her shit. Or you might get in the car with the Uber driver and that person decides to run off the road. My point is, we don't think about that type of stuff. You don't go into Dunkin' Donuts and think somebody's gonna put arson into your fucking drink. You don't order the Uber and jump in the car and think this person's gonna run me off the highway. You don't walk in rooms with perfect strangers and be like, okay, who's gonna be the person that shoots this shit up? So there's a circle of trust that exists amongst humans. And in spite of all of the bullshit, we do pretty good at making sure that all of us are safe and protected. So I can't base everything off, just the bullshit. Now, do I, raise my daughters with that mentality? Yes, but I also let them know to be aware. Just like right now, I'm aware. I wouldn't walk in here with my own shooter if I wasn't aware. You know what I'm saying? So that's just the mentality you have to have. It's the reason we have life insurance. Like, you have to be prepared. You don't want these things to happen, and you're not even expecting these things to happen. You're just, I guess, prepared if they do. But imagine if we had to wake up every day and just not trust anybody.
I mean, that would be really isolating. But
you're kind of doing that with the men.
No.
You started it off by saying, fuck niggas, get money. That's basically what you said. You was like, I don't want to be with nobody.
No, it's not that. I'll be completely honest. It has nothing to do with me not wanting to be with anybody right now at this particular stage in my life because of this massive career transition and spiritual transition. I'm having what I now understand as a spiritual awakening. And it has been so powerful that I don't think anybody needs to be there at this moment. I need to be here with myself. And integrating everything that I've learned, in a very short amount of time, especially at the retreat that I went to in Mexico. I'm at a point in my life where so much new information is being downloaded from source. I don't have anything to give to anybody right now because I'm still receiving.
I understand.
And that's literally it. Like, I have hope or a belief that there's the imperfectly perfect one out there for me. The source knows. I don't. I trust that they've.
Come on, man. Stop all of this nonsense, bro. And maybe this is where the whole podcast bro sphere part starts to come into fruition because, come on, bro. Like, you done been around the block 1,000 times. What are we talking about? Why are we even having this conversation about this foolishness? We know what it is. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. I'm not even going to deep dive into that. Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. T. Hanley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. Peace.